Welcome to this lesson, a walkthrough of assignment number 1. Step 1. Edit the myrecord.json file. Using a plain text editor, such as Notepad, edit the contents of myrecord.json to replace the text "your name here" with your actual name. To begin this step, I'm not going to start directly with Notepad. Rather, I'm going to find my command prompt by clicking on the Windows Start button. And I'm going to run the command prompt as the administrator. See that wherever I want to edit a file, I will have the privilege to do that. And in my case, I've put the file down in the program files directory, and that requires the administrator privilege to edit. So I'm going to go ahead and change over there now. So let's cd prog, and I'll abbreviate prog star. Will take us down to program files. Cd mong star will take us down to MongoDB. Cd ser star will take us to the server. Cd 4 star will take me, I'm using server 4.0 currently, and down to the bin directory. And now if we take a look with the directory, we'll see that there's all of our Mongo programs. And I've also got my primer data set, which we loaded previously. That's the data set containing the restaurants collection. And I've got myrecord.json. So now I would like to edit myrecord.json, and I'm going to use a plain text editor. Careful, don't use a word processor for this because things like typographers, quotes, and whatnot will be interpreted as not legal characters for some of the parameters. So you use plain text editors such as Notepad. And so I'll say Notepad, and we're going to edit myrecord.json. And since I'm doing this in a command window where I am operating with the administrator privilege already, that's going to be like running Notepad with the administrator privilege. So I'll be privileged to share this file where otherwise I might not be able to edit files in this directory unless I've changed the default security permissions. Okay, and here it says change your name here to your actual name. I'm going to use a nom de plume here. Well, let's call me Johnny, and of course Santa Barbara City College, we are the Vaqueros, so I'll be Johnny Vaquero, and you of course will use your own name. And let's save that. And now that's been saved, we can close Notepad, and we are ready to upload that program, upload that updated record and add it to our database. Step 2, run the Mongo import without the drop option. From a command window, and within the directory containing the Mongo import program and your modified myrecord.json file, issue the following command: mongoimport --db space test space -- collection space restaurants space -- file space myrecord.json. Now we're ready to run the command to import that record. So we'll call again on the Mongo import utility with the flag db is test, is what we called that before, and the collection we are operating on is the restaurants database, restaurants collection, I should say. And the file we're going to upload is myrecord.json. That's the one we just modified. And there is an optional flag if I wanted to delete all the existing documents and replace it with what I'm loading. I would use drop. So if you've used that previously to load the database, which is a good idea if you are doing a load of everything fresh, but in here you would omit the .drop because we want to add this as an additional document, or if the JSON file contained multiple documents, additional documents to the existing database. So let's run that. And I see that one document was imported, so that should be successful and conclude this step. Step 3, run Robo3T and connect to MongoDB. Start Robo3T and connect to your MongoDB server by pressing on the Connect button. Now it's time to run our Mongo editor. We're using Robo3T, or at least I'm using Robo3T at this time. Let's go ahead and I've got a session open. Let's start this from scratch. And start by making a connection. And if my Mongo database is up and running, either as a service or if I've started it as a session in a command prompt, connecting should succeed, and it does. And I see that the test database exists and the restaurant collection exists. And so that's all for this step. We've got a connection. We'll continue in the next step. Step 3 continued. Query the database. Enter the following query into Robo3T. Now we're ready to enter our query and see if our record has been added. So let's go open the restaurants collection. And here's the entire restaurants collection. And we want to issue a query that only gets the one record of interest. So we're going to issue the command db restaurants. And notice that I can use autocomplete. I started to type res and it suggested restaurants. And if I hit tab, that will save me some typing, and dot, and it gives me all the different commands that are there. If I start to type find, it'll say find is what we think you want. Yep, it is. And then I want to find, let's see here, curly brace, quote, borough. And the borough we're seeking is the string Barbaria. Close quote, close curly brace, close parentheses, and I think I ended up with an unbalanced parenthesis right there. There we go. Okay, and if that has been entered correctly, and if the record is in our database, pressing execute should find the record. Ah, and there it is. And if we'd like, we can expand out the compressed fields. I don't really need the different grades history on from the health department expanded, just the address. Here's the geo coordinates if you wanted them. I'm not going to worry about geotagging right now, but it's nice to have the address listed here: 721 Cliff Drive, 93019, Barbaria, and here's the all-important your student name, California Kitchen. Finally, document and submit your work. Take a screenshot of your successful query showing the Robo3T screen in your complete record. Take the screenshot and place it into a Microsoft Word document and submit the document by the due date. This concludes the lesson.